Welcome, welcome, welcome to the deep dive. I'm your guide, and today we're pulling back the curtain on the endlessly fascinating, super competitive world of media and entertainment.
It really is something else these days.
Totally. You see a film like Apple's F1, the one with Brad Pitt, and it has its biggest theatrical opening ever. I mean, hitting the absolute high end of what anyone predicted.
Yeah, that was quite something.
Or you see something really unexpected like K-pop Demon Hunters,
Yeah.
this animated action comedy with a fictional girl group.
Right. Hutch NTRX.
Exactly. It debuts globally on Netflix, and not only does it find an audience, but its soundtrack actually starts charting on Spotify.
Which is just wild when you think about it. A fictional group.
Right. These aren't just, lucky breaks, not in today's crowded landscape. So the question we're really digging into today is, how do these hits actually happen?
What's the secret sauce, basically?
That's our mission, plain and simple. We're going on a deep dive into the latest trends, the big triumphs shaping media and entertainment right now.
Think of it like getting that insider analysis.
Exactly. The kind you'd usually only get if you were really behind the curtain of the industry. We've got this a comprehensive global report in front of us, really dense stuff.
Yeah, packed with data.
And our goal is to carefully pull out the most important nuggets of knowledge for you. We want to show you, with some surprising facts and clear insights, how sophisticated data analytics, how razor-sharp strategic marketing are really the unseen forces driving success.
Across everything. Film, streaming, music.
Even talent development. It's about giving you that shortcut, that understanding of the mechanics behind what we all watch and listen to and engage with every day.
And what makes this, I think, really compelling is that we're going beyond just the numbers. The box office figures, the streaming hours.
Yeah.
That's part of it, sure.
But not the whole story.
Not at all. We want to dissect the why. Why did this win? And really crucially, the how. How are brands and studios and creators actually building these, enduring connections with audiences, especially now when everything feels so fragmented?
Right.
So this isn't just a summary. It's designed to give you those aha moments, those surprising facts that really light up the hidden dynamics at play. Because every big success we talk about, well, it's a carefully constructed outcome. It's a mix of data-driven decisions, creative marketing, and honestly, a deep understanding of what makes people tick.
Okay, so let's unpack this right from the top then, because the theatrical landscape, people sometimes talk like it's fading away, but it's seen some really remarkable wins lately. It proves cinema is still a massive force when, like you said, data-informed marketing meets real momentum.
You've really hit on something crucial there. Let's take Apple's F1 again. Its opening wasn't just a win. It was, as you said, Apple's biggest theatricals opening ever.
Which is huge for them.
Massive.
Yeah.
But this wasn't just, Brad Pitt pulling in crowds. Obviously, that helps a lot.
Sure, star power is always a factor.
Always. But the report really highlights that the aggressive marketing, almost relentless, actually the super sleek visual campaigns, the high-profile talent appearances, a lot of those felt more like live events than old-school film promos. All of that was explicitly cited as paying off, big time.
Yeah.
This was basically a masterclass in converting that general awareness, oh yeah, that movie's coming out, into real solid intent to actually go buy a ticket.
That's where it gets really interesting for me. The positioning of F1, it wasn't just pitched as, another racing movie.
No, definitely not.
The marketing aimed higher. They framed it as a high-octane crowd pleaser with crossover appeal. That feels like a fundamental shift, doesn't it?
That absolutely is.
It speaks to a marketing strategy that gets, you might start with a core, passionate niche, the F1 fans, but the end goal is always hitting that mass market. But, practically, how did they do that? How do you bridge that gap? What were the specific things they did to broaden that appeal?
Well, it was really about leveraging things that were already happening culturally and kind of manufacturing this sense of immediate, you got to see this now, urgency.
Creating FOMO, basically, fear of missing out.
Exactly. The report points out that the marketing felt less like a typical movie campaign and more like a live sporting event. They directly tied into the real-world Formula One calendar.
Oh, that's smart.
Very smart. They created specific content for the real F1 fans, ran interactive online stuff that felt like race day, held early, exclusive screenings that generated intense word of mouth, put it all together. You get that FOMO effect turning casual interest into, okay, I need to get tickets. And this also created a unique kind of brand value, this halo effect.
Ah, the halo effect. We hear that term a lot in marketing, but maybe for our listeners, could you quickly define what that means right here in this context?
Absolutely. So think of the halo effect like a positive ripple. The success or the good feeling about one main thing like the F1 movie radiates out. It boosts sales and interest in related stuff, even things the film studio didn't make directly. So in this case, while the movie itself might not have, say, a ton of action figures tied directly to it, the halo is definitely showing up. You see it in sales of real-world F1 racing gear, in game tie-ins. It's tapping into that existing F1 fandom, deepening that connection, and basically reinforcing the entire Formula One brand world.
So it's bigger than just selling movie merch.
Much bigger. It's integrating the film into this ongoing cultural moment. It transcends just promoting a movie.
Which brings us to a really key point. This success wasn't an accident. It was clearly a very carefully planned campaign, but also makes you wonder if studios are getting this good at creating blockbusters, how accurately can they predict performance, especially for films that don't quite hit the mark? Are we talking crystal balls here, or is it way more scientific?
That's a really insightful question, and it speaks to just how mature data analytics have become, especially in those early stages of a film's life. Look at Universal's M3GN 2.0.
Right, the sequel to the killer doll movie.
Exactly. It underperformed compared to the first one back in 2023. But here's the kicker. It underperformed exactly as the projections suggested it would.
Wow, they called it.
They called it. Meanwhile, you've got established intellectual properties, IPs, things like How to Train Your Dragon or Pixar's Elio. They're tracking precisely in line with what was expected.
So when we talk about these projections being so accurate, what kind of sophistication are we really talking about? Can you give us a feel for how complex these models are?
Oh, definitely. These are far, far more than just educated guesses. They're built on deep, ongoing market research, really nuanced social media sentiment analysis.
What does that mean exactly? Sentiment analysis.
It's not just counting likes or mentions. Sophisticated AI models now track the emotional tone of conversations online. They look at keyword associations, emerging discussion topics across millions of posts, tweets, comments. It lets studios pinpoint specific plot points or characters that are landing well, or quickly falling flat in almost real time.
Okay, that's intense.
It is. And then you have test screenings. They go way beyond just asking, did you like it? They provide granular data, like minute-by-minute audience retention. Are people engaged? Are they getting bored? This informs precise edits, sometimes crucial reshoots, and definitely targeted marketing adjustments, even before the final cut is locked.
So they're constantly tweaking based on data.
Constantly. The fact that M3GN 2.0's underperformance was accurately predicted just shows how refined these audience tracking tools have become. Studios aren't flying blind anymore. They're using this data to make huge decisions about marketing spend, distribution, even changing strategy long before a film opens.
That's really a testament to predictive analytics, just constant calibration. And looking ahead, the projections seem pretty solid too. Warner Bros., Superman, Marvel's Fantastic Four, both pacing towards 100 million plus domestic openings.
Yep, tracking strong.
And Jurassic World. Rebirth is still in that blockbuster zone, maybe trailing the superhero flick slightly, but still massive. It really feels like these initial projections, they're just the starting gun. The real race, the real art is how the marketing sustains that momentum, right? How it translates that early buzz into actual long-term results.
That is the core insight.
Absolutely.
The report strongly emphasizes this. For films aiming to really win in 2025, it is not about one single weekend. It's not a fleeting moment.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly. It's about cultivating a sustained presence across multiple touchpoints. Superman and Fantastic Four, first steps are highlighted as the frontrunners right now in this marketing-driven momentum and consumer product halo. They're definitely building on strong foundations, because they're known IPs, but it's their layered marketing strategies that are really amplifying demand and keeping people engaged over time.
Layered marketing strategies. Okay, sounds complex. What does that actually look like on the ground? Give me some concrete examples. What are they doing to build that consistent buzz?
Think of it like a multi-front campaign. It means coordinating trailers not just on TV, but across YouTube, TikTok, everywhere. It means retail rollouts timed just right, getting merchandise onto actual shelves months ahead of the movie. High-impact PR events that keep the film popping up in your newsfeed.
Right, keeping it top of mind.
Exactly. And for Fantastic Four specifically, you absolutely cannot underestimate the power of Marvel's ecosystem.
Oh, for sure.
Those early casting reveals, the strategic toy leaks that suddenly appear online and get everyone talking, the constant stream of social media buzz. None of that is accidental. It all comes together to build this steady, rising drumbeat of anticipation, way before the movie is even close to release.
And that becomes Organic marketing, essentially. The fans do the work.
Totally. It's high-impact, low-cost marketing in many ways. They leverage the existing fandoms perfectly, turning every little leak or announcement into a promotional event. Fans become unpaid evangelists.
So it's really about way more than just promoting one movie. It's proactively building out, expanding this whole universe around the IP. This idea you mentioned, extending reach beyond screens and into shelves, feeds, and fandoms, that really captures it, doesn't it?
It perfectly encapsulates modern entertainment marketing.
Yes. And F1 is a great example, again, overperforming its baseline, partly because its marketing mirrored that live sporting event feel. It kept it constantly in the public eye, like a whole season building up.
You've nailed it. It's a continuous, multi-channel push designed to build a lasting connection. It turns passive viewers into active participants, into consumers of the entire IP, the whole world. And those halo effects, whether it's more people buying consumer products, wider brand engagement, or even going back to watch older content in the same universe, that's critical for the long-term value of the IP.
So the conversation doesn't just die after opening weekend.
Exactly. It becomes part of a bigger, ongoing story. And when we say feeds, yeah, we mean those constant streams on social media, news sites, and fandoms. Those are the really engaged online communities who aren't just watching. They're creating their own content, analyzing trailers, spreading the word organically. They're vital.
Okay, so while theatrical is clearly still a huge deal, a massive and growing, part of how we engage with entertainment now happens on streaming platforms. And here, the strategies, the content, it feels like a whole different ballgame
The
sometimes.
streaming wars just keep evolving, don't they? It's fascinating. We're seeing really diverse patterns emerge in terms of what hits globally and what kind of content resonates. Take Tyler Perry's Straw.
Okay.
It's this powerful psychological drama. Didn't just debut strong. It held onto the #1 spot on Netflix in its third week. That's impressive staying power. Pulled in another 36 million hours viewed and hit the top 10 in over 90 countries.
90 countries. That's huge reach.
Incredible global reach.
And then, like, the complete opposite end of the spectrum, you've got K-pop Demon Hunters debuting at #2 globally. Animated, action comedy, fictional K-pop group, HUNTRX. 15 million hours watched, top 10 in 80 countries, and in 96% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Stellar reviews.
And the soundtrack is charting. That's just quite a range of success stories right there.
What really stands out is that contrast, isn't it? Straw's sustained success shows the incredible stickiness, as they call it, of high-quality drama, especially from someone like Tyler Perry, who has built this extraordinarily loyal audience over decades.
People know what they're getting and they trust it.
Exactly. That sustained viewership proves the importance of consistent quality storytelling that keeps people invested week after week. The K-pop Demon Hunters, though, that shows the immediate, almost explosive global impact you can get with truly genre-bending content,
Right, it's animation, action, comedy, music.
all woven together. It cleverly taps into the built-in K-pop fandom, but presents it in this fresh format that goes beyond typical expectations. That high Rotten Tomatoes score, the global chart presence, the charting soundtrack, it all points to serious long-term value for a brand new IP.
It feels like a masterclass in, like, cultural fusion marketing almost.
That's a great way to put it. They didn't just slap K-pop onto a cartoon. They clearly designed this fictional group, carefully authentic-sounding music, interesting lore, animation style that resonates with K-pop visuals. Then they launched it on Netflix, which bypasses all the old distribution hurdles. It turns viewers into active fans of this new thing almost instantly.
It really shows how platforms like Netflix can just launch a new IP into the stratosphere overnight, especially if it connects with something culturally potent like K-pop. But it's not just about brand new hits, is it? Streaming platforms are also really powerful for reviving older franchises, giving them a second life.
Oh, definitely. We saw this so clearly with The Buzz around 28 years later. Just the announcement of that new film immediately sparked renewed interest in the whole zombie franchise. 28 weeks later, the previous film suddenly surged back into Netflix's top 10 in over 30 countries.
Wow.
And even more impressive, it hit #1 on Hulu. It just vividly shows that halo effect, new content, pulling older stuff right back into the spotlight.
And it's not just horror doing this. We saw a Minecraft movie topping the charts on HBO Max in almost 50 countries.
Right, huge numbers there too.
And Marvel's Ironheart, it broke into the Disney Plus top 5, hit #1 in over 40 countries, even though it apparently had a little midweek dip. What does that tell us about how platforms use their specific strengths and about the loyalty of certain fan bases?
It tells us each platform is really its own curated ecosystem. They're leveraging their specific audience demographics and their deep content libraries very strategically. Minecraft on HBO Max, perfect fit for their younger family audience, shows how specific content can dominate on the platform that suits it best.
Makes sense.
And Ironheart on Disney Plus, even with a slight dip, its ability to rebound and hit #1 in so many countries just screams loyalty. The Marvel fan base is incredibly dedicated. They will actively seek out that content.
They show up.
They absolutely show up. It also hints at how studios are probably timing these releases very carefully, right? To maximize engagement, not just with the new show, but with the older Marvel movies and series on Disney Plus too. It creates this self-reinforcing cycle of discovery and watching.
The sheer variety of stuff succeeding, Tyler Perry drama, K-pop animation, horror sequels, superhero spin-offs, it really points to a bigger trend in how people watch things globally. Even in what the report called a relatively quiet week for new streaming releases, it specifically said the global appetite for diverse cross-genre content remains hot.
And this is a really crucial fundamental insight into how we consume media now.
Yeah.
It suggests audiences are more and more platform agnostic. They don't care where it is.
Yeah.
And they're genre fluid, meaning they aren't sticking to just one type of content or one language or one streaming service. They're hunting for compelling stories, immersive experiences wherever they find them. Format, origin, traditional genre labels, they matter less and less.
That must create huge opportunities then for creators, distributors.
Immense opportunities. It signals a strong demand for stuff that breaks the mold, that crosses traditional boundaries. It encourages experimentation, international co-productions, telling stories that maybe wouldn't have fit neatly into a box before.
So it probably changes how things are marketed too, moving away from just targeting, say, horror fans or comedy fans.
Exactly. It suggests a shift towards broader, maybe more universal thematic appeals in marketing. You mentioned K-pop Demon Hunters again, perfect example. Animation, K-pop, action, comedy, all rolled into one hit package. It hits different notes for different people, but the core appeal is strong storytelling and engaging characters.
It really confirms the audience is ready, maybe even eager for well-made, compelling stuff, no matter what label you put on it.
Absolutely. That fluidity in how people watch is a powerful signal for the future. It's pushing creators to think bigger, to embrace hybrid forms of storytelling that can resonate across the globe.
Okay, we've covered the visual side pretty thoroughly, but the story of entertainment's data-driven evolution definitely includes the audio and digital realms too. This is where the data gets incredibly granular, giving us this real-time pulse check on fan engagement and emerging trends.
Right, let's look at music first. On Spotify's global charts, it was, as the report said, a relatively quiet week. Things were largely stable. Alex Warren got back to #1. Sabrina Carpenter's Man-Child slipped a bit to #3. Benson Boone popped back into the top 10 with Beautiful Things.
So mostly familiar names shuffling around.
Exactly. And that stability, even with minor shifts, it tells you something about the entrenched habits of music listeners. Established hits have real staying power, even with new stuff dropping constantly.
But then you get the curveball. The cast of K-pop Demon Hunters again, the fictional group from the animated show they debuted on the global top artists chart. At number 60, that was the highest new entry of the week.
Isn't that something?
Seriously, what does that tell us about the lines blurring between, like, a TV show and the actual music charts? How can a fictional group break through like that?
It's just a potent, almost revolutionary example of cross-media synergy, isn't it? Success in one area, the streaming show directly fuels success in another, the music charts.
Yeah.
The fact that a fictional group can chart as a global top artist shows how powerful narrative-driven music marketing can be. The music is tied directly to a story, to characters people are invested in. It's not just about the song being catchy, it's the emotional connection from the show, the investment in that whole IP universe that drives people to stream the music.
People want more of that world, in any form they can get it.
Precisely. They want to consume it in every dimension.
That is a wild crossover, blurring lines between real and fictional. Okay, beyond music, YouTube. Still an absolute monster for all kinds of content. The report noted the top 10 long-form videos included 2 related to FIFA Club World Cup live coverage.
Live sport's still huge there.
Definitely. And the rest were this mix of music videos, independent creator stuff, movie trailers, a bit of everything.
It just shows YouTube's unique position, right? It's this hub for polished professional content and raw user-generated stuff. And it drives massive engagement across all these different formats. The live sports strength is clear. It competes directly with traditional TV.
Mhm.
And the fact that established creators sit alongside big-budget music videos and movie trailers just proves its broad appeal. It's strategically vital in any entertainment marketing plan now.
It's where a multi-million-dollar movie trailer can live right next to some kid's vlog and both get huge views. And in shorts, the short-form videos, you had the usual favorites like Kimpro, Double Date, Holding Strong, Mr. Beast, Ben Azelart also breaking into the top 10. It really shows the staying power of those big creator names, even in that super fast-paced short-form world.
What's really compelling there is that sustained success, especially in the short-form space, which can feel so fleeting. It tells you a lot about the loyalty of those audiences and the power of being consistent, putting out engaging stuff that builds a real community.
It's not just passive watching.
Not at all. These are active communities built around personalities and specific content styles. And the sheer volume of views they command, well, it shows a profound shift in where audience attention is going.
Okay, beyond just views, subscriber growth feels like maybe an even bigger deal for long-term influence, right? How invested is the audience? Aleo Goa apparently led subscriber growth this week, 2.5 million new subs.
Wow, 2.5 million in a week.
Insane. Followed by Mr. Beast, Vlad, and Nikki. And then for total weekly views, Kimpro was #1 with 1.7 billion views.
Billion with a B.
Billion. Followed by Sierra and Rhea family with 1.4 billion. Double Date, Mr. Beast again in the top 5.
The scale is just staggering. And look at the variety of creators succeeding at that level. You've got individual creators like Alejo Egoa, established giants like Mr. Beast, channels focused on kids like Vlad and Nikki, family content like Sierra and Rhea.
Every niche has its massive audience.
Exactly. And from a brand's point of view, these numbers are gold. If you want to partner with influencers, this data tells you exactly where the biggest, most consistent, most engaged audiences are.
Seriously, 1.7 billion views for one creator in 1 week. That's like a quarter of the planet watching. What does that tell us about user-generated content versus traditional media? Is it really competing at that level?
It tells us it's not just competing, it's often winning, especially with younger demographics. It's a massive, fundamental shift in consumption habits. User-generated content isn't just a side dish anymore, it's often the main course.
Why, though? What's the appeal?
It's partly the authenticity, that direct connection. Creators often feel more relatable, less mediated than traditional stars or polished studio productions. There's a sense of community, and often a raw creativity that really resonates. For many younger people, it is their primary source of entertainment, and those consistently huge view counts for certain creators. It proves the power of consistency and, crucially, building that community. It's about that direct, sometimes almost intimate relationship they build, something traditional media is always trying to figure out how to replicate.
So these digital metrics, they really show the incredible power of talent, but also the power of the underlying intellectual property, the IP. And increasingly, these are being leveraged and expanded across totally different parts of the entertainment world. It's not just about being on screen anymore. For talent, it's like building a personal empire.
You've absolutely nailed it. The modern celebrity, their influence is so much broader now. It goes way beyond just acting. It's fashion, brand deals, social causes, even taking creative control of their own projects. Look at Monica Barbaro.
Right, from Fubar.
Exactly. She's making waves not just for season 2, where she's apparently very skillfully dodging questions about that artificial movie to keep the focus right here.
Smart PR move.
Very. But she's also a big Dior ambassador, a real style standout on red carpets. Her strategic PR, those curated appearances, the fashion choices, it all adds up to her overall brand value. She's basically a lifestyle influencer now, on top of being an actress.
And then you have Mason Thames, he's only 17, lands in Forbes 30 under 30 for Hollywood.
First one is age, apparently.
Which is incredible, driven by roles in The Black Phone, Incoming, that upcoming How to Train Your Dragon live-action film. He just went to his first Louis Vuitton show. What does a 17-year-old breaking into Forbes signify about how fast things move now for celebrities?
It signifies a massive acceleration. In the past, a young actor might take years doing smaller roles, slowly building recognition. Now, one viral role, like The Black Phone, especially on a platform everyone can access, their image, their persona,
Right.
It explodes globally overnight. TikTok, Instagram, fan sites.
Instant fame, almost.
Almost instant saturation. And that creates intense pressure or opportunity for them to diversify their brand much faster. High fashion ambassadorships at 17, they morph from promising actor to multifaceted influencer almost immediately. And the agencies like CAA, UTA, they're clearly driving this, managing these complex careers to maximize influence and earning potential way beyond just acting gigs.
We also saw Jake Weary trending for his role in Netflix's The Waterfront. Shows the power of a strong streaming performance to create buzz for an individual actor. And Emily Aylan Lind, she's got momentum from We Were Liars on Amazon Prime. She was seen at Tribeca, and she's openly talking about wanting to direct. That ambition seems like part of a bigger trend, right? Actors wanting more creative say.
It absolutely is. More and more actors aren't just content to show up and say the lines. They want to be involved earlier, deeper in the storytelling, maybe develop projects, influence the direction.
Shaping the narrative.
Exactly. This desire for creative control, it reflects this shift towards a more holistic view of being an artist in this industry. They want to contribute more, maybe from a more personal place. And that's exciting because it empowers artists, but it also probably leads to richer, more diverse stories being told as different voices get involved in new ways.
Okay, so beyond the individual stars, you have the vision of specific directors and the sheer power of established IP driving these huge franchise expansions, bringing beloved worlds back to life. Case in point, Danny Boyle.
Yes, the legendary Danny Boyle directing 28 years later, slated as the first of a whole new trilogy. And it's already getting strong reviews, apparently for innovative visuals using iPhone cinematography, which is a big statement for a major film.
Whoa, really? iPhones?
Yeah, integrated strategically. And for thematic depth. Bringing in a director of his caliber signals a real artistic ambition for the franchise, not just a cash-in sequel. And similarly, Denis Villeneuve, Dune, Arrival. Just incredible visual, thoughtful storytelling. He's signed on for the next James Bond.
Wow, Villeneuve for Bond. That feels bold, audacious even. But it could totally redefine Bond, couldn't it? How might that reshape Bond's tone and positioning, like trading the gadgets and one-liners for deeper character stuff and maybe more elevated action?
It feels like a very deliberate, strategic move, potentially revolutionary for an icon like Bond. Villeneuve brings that prestige, that unique global cinematic vision. It could elevate Bond beyond the usual spy thriller into something more profound, maybe more critically lauded.
Taking a big swing.
A huge swing. And it points to this broader trend. Studios entrusting their biggest legacy IPs to visionary directors precisely to refresh them. Make them relevant again by deepening the characters, enriching the story, pushing the boundaries of what those films can be. You see a similar logic maybe with Disney and their live-action remakes and sequels like Lilo and Stitch.
Right, tapping into nostalgia but making it new.
Exactly. Engaging the legacy fans and new families.
Yeah.
Leveraging that powerful emotional connection while also opening up huge merchandising potential. It's about keeping these massive IPs culturally relevant and economically potent for generations.
And this expansion of IP, it often seems to go hand in hand with really creative, sometimes unexpected brand partnerships, which have become such a key part of modern entertainment marketing, like next-level integrations.
The creativity here is really fascinating, and the diversity of the partnerships. Look at the LA Dodgers teaming up with Toei Animation for a One Piece night at the stadium, July 3rd.
A baseball game and an anime.
Yeah. It's not just slapping a logo on the scoreboard. It's a full-on experiential event. They're giving out co-branded straw hats like Luffy wears and a limited edition trading card. It creates this unique, tangible experience for fans. Hits multiple communities, multiple senses.
That's cool. And then, totally different vibe. Urban Decay, the makeup brand, partners with M3GM 2.0 for their setting spray.
Right, the all-nighter setting spray. They launched this tongue-in-cheek video campaign on social media, timed perfectly with the film's release. The tagline was brilliant. M3GN may be a homicidal robot, but smudged makeup. Now that's a crime.
Huh. That's genuinely clever marketing.
Incredibly clever. And super targeted, right? It perfectly matches the film's edgy, darkly funny tone. And launching it on social media just as the film drops maximizes the buzz with exactly the right audience people who get the horror and the humor.
So these partnerships, even though they seem random sometimes, they benefit both sides.
Absolutely. The film extends its reach into new consumer areas. The brand gets cultural relevance, a buzzworthy hook, and offering exclusive merch or unique experiences like the Dodgers night. That builds real fan loyalty. It amplifies the message in a way that feels fun and organic, not just like an ad.
And these aren't just local things, they're going global. McDonald's launching an F1-themed Happy Meal across Latin America. Started June 25th, offering collectible mini F1 cars, McDonald's branded ones, and the APX GP car from the movie.
That just shows the immense power of a global brand like McDonald's.
Right.
Extending the film's reach way beyond traditional ads, putting it right into everyday life across a whole continent.
Putting the IP literally into kids' hands.
Exactly. It's classic mass market appeal.
Yeah.
Taps into nostalgia, Happy Meal toys. and aspiration, the glamour of F1.
Hmm.
And the long-term value of getting that IP into kids' hands via collectibles. You can't overstate it, builds familiarity, affection. You might be creating fans for life, people who will follow the franchise for decades.
And maybe the most dynamic, most immersive place for this cross-IP marketing now is gaming, where engagement just hits a whole different level. Fortnite doing a massive Squid Game event.
Yeah, in their reload mode. A whole Squid Grounds map, specific locations, mini-games, all timed perfectly with Squid Game Season 3's release on June 27th.
That's not just marketing, that's an event.
It's the absolute pinnacle of immersive, interactive marketing. It's not an ad you watch, it's an experience you participate in. Players can earn or buy Squid Game-themed skins, get these cube-themed bundles, compete in a tournament, even get rewards on Twitch just for watching others play. Fortnite is this incredibly powerful platform for extending an IP. Fans can literally live inside these worlds they love.
So how does putting Squid Game inside Fortnite create that insane engagement and actually drive people to watch the show and this whole earn or purchase skins, the tournaments? What does that say about making money from these things and building loyalty? Sounds like a data goldmine for marketers.
It fundamentally changes the relationship. It goes from passive viewing to active invested participation. When you let players be the characters, explore the environments, do the challenges, it deepens their emotional stake in the IP. Casual viewers become active brand ambassadors. And it's not just about buzz. It creates entirely new revenue streams, people buying skins, participating in events, and the data. Every click, every purchase, every minute spent in that Squid Game area provides incredibly rich, granular data. What are players responding to? What are they buying? This directly informs future content, future marketing, maybe even new spin-offs. It's this potent feedback loop that just blurs the lines between entertainment and experience. Huge potential for deep engagement and serious money.
Wow, what an incredible deep dive we've had today. Seriously covered so much ground. From those surprising box office hits driven by really smart marketing,
Yeah, the F1 example is great.
to global streaming hits coming from unexpected places like K-pop Demon Hunters. And then digging into this complex dance between how talent builds their brands now, how studios expand these huge IPs, and how cutting-edge digital marketing ties it all together.
And if we boil it down, the core insights we've really uncovered today. Well, first, the entertainment industry isn't just running on gut instinct anymore, not by a long shot. It's increasingly driven by really sophisticated data analytics, very proactive marketing. This lets them not just predict hits with scary accuracy.
Like with M3GA and 2.0's numbers.
Exactly. But also understand audience behavior deeply and try to mitigate misses before they even happen.
And success, it's clear, isn't about one big splash anymore. It's not about a viral moment that just disappears. It's built on sustained, multi-channel marketing that goes way beyond old-school ads. It's about using digital ecosystems, social media, tapping into those fan communities who become active partners in the IP's life.
And global reach is everything now. Diverse content, finding audiences everywhere, strategic international partnerships driving huge engagement across film, streaming, music, even gaming, as we just saw. And finally, talent and IP. They're just completely intertwined now. Stars are leveraging their influence everywhere, becoming these multifaceted brands themselves. And studios are pouring resources into expanding beloved franchises through ambitious reboots, smart sequels, and those really creative brand collaborations that take these universes far beyond just the original screen.
So what does this all mean for you listening in? It means that all these different pieces we talked about, those box office numbers, the billions of streaming hours, the crazy YouTube views, even the Happy Meal toys, they all connect. They converge right at this intersection of data, marketing, and the constantly shifting entertainment industry.
It's a complex system, yeah, but there's a logic to it. It's built on understanding the audience, predicting behavior, and proactively creating compelling, immersive experiences wherever people are actually spending their time and attention.
Which leaves us with a big question to chew on. Looking at all these trends, where do you think the next frontier is for entertainment marketing? Could we really see entire movies or shows being developed inside games, blurring those lines even more?
It's fascinating to think about, isn't it? How will data keep shaping not just how stuff is marketed, but how it's actually created, maybe influencing storylines, character arcs, almost in real time based on audience feedback loops?
Lots to think about. Keep exploring, keep questioning, keep connecting those dots in this wild industry. We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.